May 9th, 1998. At night, we played poker with Scott the guard, Elias, and Steve the researcher. Steve was really lucky, but I think he was cheating. What a scumbag. May 10th, 1998. Today, a high-ranking researcher asked me to take care of a new monster. It looked like a gorilla without any skin. They told me to feed them live food. When I threw in a pig, they were playing with it, tearing off the pig's legs and pulling out the guts before they actually ate it. May 11th, 1998. Around 5 o'clock this morning, Scott came in and woke me up suddenly. He was wearing a protection suit that looks like a spacesuit. He told me to put one on as well. I heard there was an accident in the basement lab. It's no wonder those researchers never rest, even at night. May 12th, 1998. I've been wearing this annoying spacesuit since yesterday. My skin grows musty and feels very itchy. By way of revenge, I didn't feed those dogs today. Now I feel better. May 13th, 1998. I went to the medical room because my back is all swollen and feels itchy. They put a big bandage on my back and the doctor told me I did not need to wear the spacesuit anymore. I guess I can sleep well tonight. May 14th, 1998. When I woke up this morning, I found another blister on my foot. It was annoying. I ended up dragging my foot as I went to the dog's pen. They have been quiet since morning, which is very unusual. I found that some of them had escaped. I'll be in real trouble if the higher-ups find out. May 15th, 1998. Even though I didn't feel well, I decided to go see Nancy. It's my first day off in a long time, but I was stopped by the guard on the way out. They said the company has ordered that no one leave the grounds. I can't even make a phone call. What kind of joke is this? May 16th, 1998. I heard a researcher who tried to escape from this mansion was shot last night. My entire body feels burning and itchy at night. When I was scratching the swelling on my arm, a lump of rotten flesh dropped off. What the hell is happening to me? May 19th, 1998. Fever gone but itchy. Hunger and eat doggy food. Itchy. Itchy. Scott came. Ugly face. So killed him. Tasty. Itchy. Tasty. As someone who's been a fan of the Resident Evil franchise ever since the original Resident Evil 4 and has played every mainline game since, and as someone who finds the Paul W.S. Anderson films to be enjoyable guilty pleasure B-action films at best, and moderately enjoyed Welcome to Raccoon City, but I despise the Netflix series, I want to add my 2 cents for Zack Krieger's new Resident Evil. I do need to say before I dive into this that everybody's opinion is completely valid. This is just a video giving you all my thoughts on the upcoming Resident Evil movie. and I'd love to know your thoughts, so please let me know down in the comment section below. For those of you who are new to the franchise or don't know Resident Evil at all, Resident Evil is a survival horror video game franchise that they've made multiple attempts to turn into live action films, and have more often than not failed. We first got the 6 Paul W.S. Anderson films that ran from 2002 to 2017 that were infamously known for being wildly different from the source material. Then we got Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, which, while not a perfect adaptation of the games, was a far more faithful attempt. Now, Zack Krieger wouldn't have been my first pick to bring the decades-old survival horror franchise to life on the big screen in live action. Those who are unaware, Cregger has made very successful horror movies such as Barbarian and Weapons, both of which were both critically acclaimed and loved by audiences. I personally didn't much care for Barbarian, but Weapons was fantastic. Cregger's style is taking extraordinary stories and planting them in a more grounded film. He utilizes tension very effectively and excels at building up the looming jump scares, or scares period. He also typically has social commentary in his movies, which I'm not typically opposed to when it's an original IP and if it's done right without forcing the message down your throat. But I don't want him adding social commentary to Resident Evil, at least no modern social commentary. All this to say, I can see why he'd be a good pick to take the helm on our next live action feature film adaptation of Resident Evil. Where I'm seeing the most of the backlash for the trailer has been in continuity errors, if you could even call them that. One example of this would be the snow on the ground in the trailer, and Cregger saying that in his mind his film coincides with the Raccoon City outbreak from the Resident Evil 2 and 3 video games respectively. The big criticism is that there's no snow on the ground in those games, but there is snow in his trailer. One simple explanation for this could be that the majority of this movie takes place in the Arklay Mountains from the original Resident Evil. However, there is a hole in this theory, as we do see Raccoon City, or at least what I believe to be Raccoon City, in the trailer. Another big criticism I'm seeing is that there's smartphones being used in the trailer. For those who are unaware, the original Resident Evil trilogy takes place in the mid to late 90s. Now, the best explanation for both of these nitpicks, in my opinion, is that this movie doesn't take place in the universe of the video games, but rather the movie is set in Cregger's universe, and if it's successful, the events from the games would happen in Cregger's universe. He may possibly even end up adapting the games, but set in his film's universe. But at the end of the day, these are nitpicks. I'm sorry, but they are. So as long as Cregger delivers on his promise of making a movie that gives the experience of playing the games, I think I can handle a Widow Snow on the ground and overlook a few scenes utilizing a smartphone. I strangely have also seen people criticizing the two monsters from the trailer, the one with multiple limbs coming out of the door and the big fat naked man down in the sewers, saying that they don't look very Resident Evil. Have you ever even played a Resident Evil game? In particular, Biohazard Village and Requiem? Not to mention Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3. Resident Evil is packed full of strange and bizarre monsters. This is probably the stupidest critique I've seen so far. To be honest, all of these just feel like gatekeeping to me. But at the end of the day, none of it matters right now. The movie hasn't come out
out, so I guess we'll just have to wait and find out in September. In closing, guys, just keep in mind, it's easy to nitpick a trailer apart without seeing the movie, but none of them mean it's going to be a bad movie. You've got to judge these scenes on their own merits. It's totally fine if you're not completely sold on Cregger or his vision for the franchise, but don't sit there and tell me it's because there's snow on the ground. That's just ridiculous. I'm personally excited, but cautiously optimistic. We Resident Evil fans have been burned more times than not when it comes to these live-action film adaptations, so the skepticism is totally understandable. Just don't let your nitpicks or prior experience with this franchise's film adaptations spoil your potential excitement for this one. Also, quit gatekeeping. This franchise doesn't just belong to those who played the original games. I don't care when or how you came into this fandom, you're here now and your opinions are just as valid. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. My name is Mickey and Mole, and I am signing off.